Meeting is being recorded. All right, great. So welcome everybody. And if you saw the reminder, I said what I really wanted to talk about today is cash flow. I wanted to have a dialogue about, and that means not just me talking, about potential ways, and we'll just throw out a number. We'll say potential ways of being able to have another $1,000 a month to be able to invest. I mean, just if you think about it, if you had $1,000 a month to invest, or if you had an extra $1,000 a month, what a great vacation that would make, right? 12 grand. You just have a nice vacation. You could take well, I was gonna say Caribbean cruise. You could take a nice Mediterranean cruise and hit all the European countries on the what do they call that? The French Riviera and all that good stuff, right? So 12 grand would make a nice vacation. But if you put 12 grand into investments and you were getting, a 10% return on it, that's $1,200. And then if you reinvest that, pretty soon that $12,000 over a 5-year period is another 100 grand. And so most people would spend the money on vacation, and the wealth-minded people that are here in this meeting and part of the club see the world a little differently, and we want to invest that money. But the question is, where would you get another if you found a really great investment, some place that you were like, wow, I can get 15, 16, 18, 25% on that money. Where would you get your hands on another $1,000 a month? Because if you had it, I can show you where to get 25%. Guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed. And then there's ways, of course, with using leverage that you can make way more than 25%. So if you wanted to be able to have another $1,000 on top of whatever you have right now for income, which I'm going to assume we're all spending for our living expenses, we want another $1,000 of discretionary income. Where could you get that? Anybody have any ideas?
Affiliate marketing, affiliating for a lot of different sources. Almost every store, every business almost is having an affiliate program right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So for those of us who may not really understand affiliate marketing, can you give us a layman's explanation?
Well, basically, a store will use that to help advertise them, and you get your own special link. And if somebody comes to that business through your link, you might get a percentage of whatever sales there are. Some programs I just got involved with one that has to do with credit and funding. And I get a percentage of what people that come in, whatever funding they get, I get a percentage of that, which is very nice. So, there's a lot of different sources, whether it's for, Home Depot or whatever type of business you normally work with. Rather than going to the store and making the purchase, you make the purchase online using your affiliate link, and you're getting that much more money back into your pocket.
Okay. All right. You'd have to convince a lot of people to go to Home Depot and use your affiliate link, but it's possible. So let's stay with the affiliate idea for now. If somebody was going to make a little side hustle out of that and they wanted to make $1,000, how would we go about that? How could we consistently get money from an affiliate program like that? Any ideas? Anybody?
Uh-oh.
Was that it? Vince? And he's frozen. That must have been the before he got frozen. Oops.
A lot of people tend to use Canva and make like a quick ad through Canva, as long as it's congruent with whatever you're representing.
Yeah.
And just people answering that ad, or even if they're posting in Facebook, and even if they just put a like under the post, they may not even say anything, but then you can go back and say, I noticed you liked da, 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 and then just start the conversation.
Yeah, good. Anybody else have any experience with poor Vince? He's gonna be frozen in that position. uh, anybody have any experience with affiliate marketing?
Mhm.
Anybody? So uh, when I decided I was going to write a book, that I looked for different self-publishing sources, and there was a company called CreateSpace, which I chose to do that. All I had to do was write the manuscript, and it had to be formatted properly. But then I uploaded it to their website and uploaded the cover. I had somebody on Fiverr create the cover for me. And so you upload the artwork for the cover, and you upload the manuscript, the document, and magically they create a book for you. And you don't have to buy any. It's just sitting there. So if someone, and then it goes up on Amazon. And then when someone actually purchases a book from Amazon, they print one book. It's called print on demand. They print one book, not like the old days where you had to buy like 10,000 books and put them in your garage. They print one book and they just mail it off to them, and then they send you your $3 or whatever that you got for selling that book. You'd have to sell a lot of books every month to make $1,000, but when you are when you've written a book, you automatically become an Amazon affiliate. And so, and I completely forgot that I was an Amazon affiliate. Never occurred to me. And the other day, Gabriella ordered from Amazon. She ordered a wearable that checks. It's a pedometer, and some of you, I told this. I think I told Mark about it. I told Jerry about it. It does a whole bunch of stuff. It'll tell you how many calories you burn when you go for a walk or when you work out in the gym. It actually monitors your sleep and tells you how much deep sleep you got, and it tells you how much light sleep that you got. And the one model that she got, which was like $40, not really expensive. The one that she got was one that actually checks her blood pressure. And she's a veteran, so she goes to the VA hospital, and she had high blood pressure. They gave her a cuff to take home, and that cuff is pretty accurate compared to the ones that they have at the hospital. They're really, really close. Her watch is just as accurate as the cuff for $40, right?
Nice.
So I'm telling all my health and fitness clients, and I said, hey, Jerry, let me send you the link so that you can, because he had expressed an interest in it, so you can get it. Guess what Don forgot to send him? The affiliate link, right? Because I didn't even remember I was an affiliate till this conversation right here. I just remembered, right? So Jerry, I could have made $1.50 off of that watch, and life would be different for me then, for sure.
I'm sure.
But the truth of the matter is, if there was one place if you decided affiliate marketing was going to be your gig, right? You could literally, it's the world. Amazon has every product in the world, I think. I'm pretty sure they got the market corner. You could pick any kinds of products that you like. You could do a little YouTube video reviewing it, open the box and say, here's how this works, here's how you turn it on, all that kind of stuff. And my affiliate links right down below. So if you think you'd like to have one of these really cool watches that checks your blood pressure and all that kind of stuff, and is awake when you're asleep and all that, just go ahead and click on the thing, and I'll make 27 cents. All right. And so, but how many of those videos could you do? And how many of those products could you review? And you probably wouldn't even have to buy every single product, because that would be kind of expensive, right? But you could actually do a review of the product without even actually owning it, right? So there's just lots of different ways to be able to, through affiliate marketing, to be able to do that. Can anybody think of a brand that you like so much that you tell people about it, even though they don't pay you, you tell people about it? Anyone?
I do it with my skincare line that I use. And I definitely have my cards with me to hand out.
But you're an affiliate for that product.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't tell you if I had, when we were all out and about and I was having networking meetings, if I took the money that I spent on coffee at Starbucks and invested in stock, in Starbucks, I'd own one of their stores now, for sure. I would, right? So I have advocated for Starbucks for a long time, and the other one for me is Harley Davidson, right? So I don't know if Harley has an affiliate program, but holy cow, if someone bought a $40,000 Harley Davidson, I'd probably make
Nice.
Yeah, I'd
Nice
probably make
buck.
pretty little penny. Yeah, for sure, right?
You know what I'm thinking about down here in this, which is, as you're talking about this, is my girlfriend. She is like, well, she's 12 years younger than me. She's the millennial, and she's the typical TikTok, Instagram, everything else. She's watching makeup videos, watching all this hair thing, or whatever. And she actually thought about doing some of the stuff on her own too. And she could be doing this, what you're talking about right now, with this product for my whatever, and this product here, and you know, all these influencers or whatever you want to call it on social media. You know, I mean, she could. I think she would excel at this kind of thing. I don't know if she's ever thought about doing that, you know, but monetizing it.
Suggest it to her for sure.
Yeah.
So I was, so I think all of you know about LifeWorks, the LifeWorks Life Mastery System. I think Jerry's probably the only one that hasn't been through the class here, but I had online university for, I think most of you did LifeWorks before the university even existed, but for about almost 5 years, 4.5 years, I had an online university, and so people would pay their monthly tuition of $100. And at one point, we had 216 people paying $100. So how's your math? Anybody want to figure out how much that is on a monthly basis?
2,160? Oh, on a monthly basis, no.
216, just call it 200. That's
$21,000. Yeah.
That's $20,000 a month. That's $250,000. That's $250,000 a year business. And I had almost no overhead at all. And I was selling education. I didn't have a manufacturing plant. I needed no raw materials. All I did was create an electronic product that, and you guys know the history. So that product was a paper version for 2 decades at least, but it's been around for a long time. But selling e-products, electronic products, people are making millions. And I ran across a guy that was so I'm relaunching LifeWorks University. It'll take me probably another month to 6 weeks to get it ready. I'm redoing refreshing all the content, and creating a new learning center, online learning center. So it's a membership portal, membership site. And I'm using a platform that I was a little familiar with, but I was looking around for education about it because it had a lot of features that I never used before. And I thought I should learn all those features so I can use all of them and provide more value to my students. And so I ran across this guy, and he what an incredible story. He said he was an engineer. He was a project engineer. So his job was to take really complex items, really complex projects, and break it down into doable steps, and then feed those steps to the various departments. So he was a project manager. And so he worked for Disney, worked for General Electric, worked for some big companies like that. And he said, my wife had this little online business. She was selling something, and she was struggling. And he said, so I brought my project management thinking cap and started helping her with her business. And he said, I was 28 years old. I think he was 28 years old or 28 and a half years old at the time. He made well over $1 million in her business, and they both retired. He was 30 years old. And so now he coaches people on this particular platform, which is what he used to be able to do that. And he created what he called the $1 million funnel. That one funnel created $1 million of income for them, over $1 million. And if you buy through his affiliate link, he gives you that funnel and a whole bunch of other things, 30 days worth of consulting and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, he's my guy, and I clicked on it. So he made an affiliate commission, and I'm paying a couple $100 a month for the platform. He'll make 40% of that number forever. As long as I'm a customer, he'll make 40% of that, which is $80. right? So if he had 100 customers, he's making $8,000 a month. Now he's already a millionaire, so he doesn't really need that money. But there's an affiliate idea. But for me, my business was a completely online business, and it didn't start out to be. I didn't start out to make $250,000, but that's what happened. And so online, and we've all learned over this last year of COVID that we can all work online, and we're doing it right here. And it's so I think there's one-dimensional communication, which if any of you guys remember making a phone call, that one-dimensional, all you get is the voice. This is a two-dimensional way to communicate. I get to see your faces and see your body language and all that kind of stuff, and I still have the voice. And three-dimensional is meeting at Starbucks, right? So we're in person, right? It's three-dimensional. But two-dimensional is way better than one-dimensional. And so here's what I'm going to also suggest to you guys. Every single one of you and all of you listening to the recording, watching the recording, all of you are masters at something. I guarantee it. With my last dollar, I would bet every one of you is a master at something, and such a master that other people would be willing to pay for you to coach them on that. Now that's trading hours for dollars if you're doing it like I'm doing with my health and fitness coaching business. But again, for me, that's not the primary reason why I do it. It's not any reason why I do it, because I really enjoy making a difference for people in person like that. Coaching, I just love coaching. And you can still do that. And there are some people that are making hundreds of dollars an hour. When I was doing business consulting, I haven't done that in a long time, but I was making $250 an hour. You don't have to work a lot to make a lot of money at $250 an hour, right? 4 hours a day, you're making $1,000, right? Take the rest of the week off, maybe. But the point is, if you have that expertise, you can create some recordings. You can probably create some worksheets that are downloadable, fillable PDFs. And then you could have a little landing page, a single page website, and you could spend $5 a day on Facebook ads to get people to come to buy that thing that are very specific, very targeted people. And that could potentially make you way more than $1,000 a month. And it's mailbox money. It's set it and forget it kind of money. There are many people that have created funnels like that, really easy, simple funnels that cost them next to nothing to run, that have been running for years. For instance, the video that I saw of this young man that had the $1 million funnel, he actually published that over 2 years ago. That page was created over 2 years ago, and I just watched it like it was brand new, and I actually spent the money with him. And so believe me when I tell you, all of you have the potential to be able to make not just $1,000 a month, but a lot more than that without a whole lot of effort. There's just a little bit of effort up front. And I've done quite a bit of research, quite a bit of work setting up these funnels, and I'm happy to help. But what I'd love to be able to have in this group here is some success stories about, I was able to generate a little bit of money. I was able to invest that in silver or gold, or I was able to invest that in the Jesus battery that we talked about with a couple weeks ago, the new glass battery that's going to replace lithium-ion batteries, or any of the ones. If you guys took notes, if you were here when Howard was talking, he gave us, I don't know, maybe a dozen different industries that are just going to skyrocket. Warren Buffett made fun of investing in gold for about 30 years. And then when we had COVID, he sold off all his airline stocks because nobody was flying, right? And he sold off his banking stocks. And then he took $500 million and he invested in the largest gold and silver mining company in the world, Barrick, right? So maybe we make a little bit extra money, and if you invest some, in the hard assets, the actual silver that you can hold in your hand, maybe you buy an EFT which is a paper investment, a silver EFT. There's a bunch of them. If you want what do they call the ticker? The symbols. I give you three different ticker symbols that I actually buy to keep my money invested in silver, in a paper fashion rather than just the hard assets like that. I think you should have some hard assets. But here's the whole point of the conversation. I said I wasn't going to talk, so I'd like you guys to talk some more, please. But here's the whole point of having this conversation this morning. All of us, no matter how much money we have, are spending a lot of that money on lifestyle stuff. And we have to, no doubt about it. You got to have a roof over your head and food in the refrigerator and an automobile and insurance and all that kind of stuff. But if we had a little bit more money than we have right now without spending any more, which is what most regular people do, they make more, they spend more. If you made more, but then invested it over time, that is going to give you the financial freedom to not have to do anything for working for money. There's only two ways to make money, as far as I can tell. People working, that's called labor, and money working, that's called investing. And money working is a whole lot better. When your money's working harder for you than you work for it, that's freedom, because what you're buying back is your life, right? You don't have to go and trade hours for dollars, even if you make really good money. Even if you're a consultant and you're making $1,000 an hour, or like Mark, when he goes and negotiates a deal, he's going to make, I don't know, $1,000 an hour negotiating the deal. Now, if he goes and paints that property, he's going to make $25 an hour, right? Don't do that, right? Just go do more deals, right? But there's an infinite number of ways to be able to make extra money and then invest that so that you get to the point where you literally have the freedom to roll out or roll over in the morning, and it really doesn't matter. Your lifestyle doesn't change. So let me come up for air. Thoughts about that? Anybody?
I mean, yeah, that's my whole process behind my buying real estate, I guess, is just to have, because I know that's, that's the goal in the end. I still do have to work regularly every day as a realtor. I get commissions and make money doing that, but in the background, there's things working for me, building wealth, building equity, saving taxes, the whole thing. So yeah, that's my niche. And obviously, I've talked about that quite a bit here, and I am very interested in exploring some of these other options too. I personally have looked at I had a really interesting idea for ebooks on teaching real estate investing to new investors. And kind of like, here's the intro book. And if you want something further, here's like chapters of different types of investing. Here's on flipping, here's on multifamily, things like that. And thought about this like that, to the point I actually talked to Jody Bach about this, about how to write a book. So never went through with it, but
yeah. Yeah. And I've written 3. I've actually I wrote one myself, but then the next 2 were actually compilations where I helped my students actually write a chapter. Vince was in my second book, my first compilation. He wrote a chapter in there. So that, I got to be honest with you, that was way more gratifying for me to have my students actually write the chapters. A lot less work for me, but guiding them to become published authors. So there are literally now 21 people in the world that I'm pretty sure would not have become a published author if it weren't for my efforts to be able to put those projects together. And that's a pretty, amazing thing. They say that over 50% of people want to write a book, and less than, actually the last statistic that I got from a very good source was 0.6% of the population ever write one. And not that any of us are going to become, Stephen King, right, or Danielle Steele and make millions of dollars from our books. That's really not the point. The point is, when you are a published author, and particularly if you're a best-selling author, my 3rd book became an overnight, 24 hours. It became an international bestseller on Amazon. And when you're a person who has a best-selling book, you're now considered an authority by anybody who knows about that. And if you're an authority, you get paid more, and people pay attention more, right? So writing a book seems, like you said, Mark, it seems like, kind of a monumental task, but it's like anything else. It's like, building a house looks like a monumental task, but if you go buy an open lot And 6 weeks later, there's a house on that lot. Even though it was complicated, it's step by step, just like anything. It's, you know, building a birdhouse or building a house or building a castle. It's all the same 3 steps, right? You got to know what you want. You've got to put it on paper, a blueprint, and then you got to execute according to the blueprint and you get it. The same thing for adding $1,000 or $10,000 a month to your income so that you have the money to invest and have your money working for you. And so you have that financial freedom. So when Anne says, I want to go to Ireland, take my whole family to Ireland, which, you know, was one of her goals, she doesn't have to think about what's in the bank account. She just knows there's enough to do that, right?
I went 2 years ago and I'm supposed to go to Brazil over Christmas and New Year's this year,
Nice.
God willing, with the COVID, but
Nice. So you should be leading this conversation, world traveler. So what's your secret, Anne? Tell us your secret. How do you generate more and more money all the time like you do?
It's all in what you're committed to. It's all where you stand in commitment. I've been wanting to make Ireland my trip for years. It's where my family was from. I wanted my mom to come. Unfortunately, by the time I was able to get there, she had already passed. But her sister-in-law still lived in the house she was born in. So my friend is a travel agent. Every year she does a trip to Ireland, and the alternate year she does a trip to Italy. So it was amazing. I spent 5 days with family and 11 days of touring the entire country. Blarney Stone, went to the Guinness factory, went to the Titanic Museum, and I did everything, more things than my cousins who lived there have ever done. So it was a great memory, and now I'm looking forward to celebrating my great-grandson in Brazil, having his baptism over there. And please God, with the health situation, we'll be able to enjoy that over the holidays.
Yeah.
So, and I'll be bringing my granddaughter. She graduated high school. I'll be bringing her to Ireland next year. She wants to hold off. So
Nice.
it's in the commitment, and out of the commitment, it's not either or, it's and. A-N-D. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to be going to Idaho at the end of July because I've done something with the company, and I'm going to the owner built a 60 person resort for his family, a family resort that sleeps 60 people. And we're going to go there, and it has an original American teepee on the property. And my girlfriend from Salt Lake, and we're going to hook up together while I'm out there. So, and then in October, I plan on going to Chicago for a regional with the company. And I have a lot of family in Chicago, so that'll be awesome. So there's a lot going on, but it comes out. Sometimes it means I drive a lot more with Lyft. I mean, I was getting full education with the real estate, but it took something. And I'm now, you talk about $1,000 a month, I'm paying back my sister $1,000 a month for the money she loaned me. But you're committed to it, you make it work. So I'm sending her first 1,000 today.
Well, that was a great segue into another part of this conversation that I hope we would get to, which is, sometimes people have, they don't have the money to even, create the funnel, right? They don't have the money to pay for that couple $100 a month for the software. They don't have the money for even $5 a day for, probably not true of any of us here, but they don't have the $5 a day to invest on Facebook or what have you, right? But they've got time on their hands. So there's somebody else that doesn't have any time at all, but they've done well financially, and they've got some money, and they need to park it someplace that it's going to be safe and that it's going to get a return on their investment. So I created something many years ago that I call the wealth creation formula. And basically it's I've shared it with like 250,000 people in my wealth building classes. And it's actually so ridiculously simple. But every time I showed the class, I would say, is there anybody that believes that if you don't do this, which was on the screen, is there anybody that believes that if you do this, you won't become wealthy, right? That this doesn't work? And not one person in 250,000 people ever said, that's stupid, that'll never work. Everybody said, wow, like, why didn't they teach us this in second grade? That's what most people said, right? It's so ridiculously simple. pay cash for all depreciating items.
Mhm.
And if I asked you to make me a list of depreciating items, there's a really long list. You know, your groceries, your furniture, your cars, right? I mean, just your clothes, the gasoline in your car. I mean, most of the money that we all spend goes towards depreciating assets. And I can't tell you how many people that I actually know that put their groceries and their gas money on their credit card in January, and they're still paying interest on that in December, right? When you're paying interest on when you're borrowing money to pay for depreciating items, you're adding insult to injury, right? And you never get wealthy that way. It's impossible. On the other hand, if you borrow money to invest into assets that will generate income and appreciate in value, and they have to do both, right? Generate income and appreciate in value. That's the other half of the equation to get wealthy. So borrowing or owing money is not a bad thing or a good, excuse me, it's not bad or good, it's how you use it, right? And so borrowing, leveraging as much money as you can to buy appreciating assets, again, back to Mark, that's what he's doing. You know, if you buy $100,000 piece of property and you put 10,000 of your own money and you borrow $90,000, the appreciation is not on the 10,000 only that you put in. The appreciation is on the whole thing. So if that $100,000 property appreciates 10% in 1 year, 10% of 100,000 is a $10,000 increase in value. You put 10,000 in, and you now have $20,000 of your own money. That's 100% return on your money. That's the power of leverage, right? But you could do the same thing. Leverage is a universal concept. You could do the same thing. You could say to somebody, listen, I want to do this, you know, I want to write an ebook, or I want to do affiliate marketing with Amazon or whatever, but I need like, you know, $500 a month. And they go to their sister or their brother or their mom or dad or uncle or whatever, and they say, if you'd be willing to fund me for a year at $500 you know, a month, so that I can get this ball rolling, now I'll split all the profits with you until I've doubled your money. So when I had lost everything, I had a bunch of real estate in the 80s, and we had a crash in the beginning of the 90s, and I lost everything. A lot of you know that story. But when I started getting back on my feet, my friend Corey called me one day, and she said, you remember that idea that you talked about, that you were looking for information on tax lien investing? And I said, yeah. She said, well, I found a 90-minute free course that we can go to, and I signed us up. So we went to this 90-minute thing. It's a pitch, obviously. And we sit there, we sit in the front row, and I said to her, I can do this. And she said, yeah, I know. She meant I could speak like that guy was speaking. I meant I could do the tax lien investing. So we got out in the hallway, and I said, listen, it's $1,500. This was back in the mid 90s. $1,500 was a lot more money than it is today. $1,500. They said, it's $1,500. Can you put that on your credit card? And I will do all the work. You don't have to do anything. And I'll split the profits with you until you say stop. Now, she was married to a guy that didn't like me very much because I was the younger man in her life. And she had to go home and explain why she just put $1,500 on the credit card for me. Right. So I said, tell Wally, that was her husband, tell Wally, I will come to the house. I will get on my knees. I will tell him exactly what I'm telling you. I will split the profit on every deal I do until you guys say stop. Well, I had doubled their investment, and she said stop. And he didn't like me very much. He didn't say stop for a really long time, And so he probably made 100 times his money. Yeah, he made a lot of money. No, it was more than that actually, because he probably made they made about $30,000 on a $1,500 investment, right? But I didn't have the money, but I wasn't willing to accept that as my reality, right? So again, just one more of those stories. But here's what I'd like to do. We've got about 20 minutes left. I'd like to throw a challenge out to you guys. I'd like to be able to see if you have any interest, and I'm not attached to the results. So if it's not something that you're interested in, no hard feelings, it's all fine. But I'd love for you guys to be able to, if you were interested, think up a project, just something that you could say, you know what, if I did this, it would take a little bit of effort, a little bit of time or whatever. Dawn's willing to help me, but I could probably make $1,000 a month. I could, maybe it might take 3 months, might take 6 months, but I can make another $1,000 a month. And I'm committed to taking that $1,000 a month and buying silver with it or investing in it and doing something, right? That it's not grocery money, it's investment money, right? You don't have to answer me now. And you can definitely answer me in private. So message me, text me, email me, or whatever. But if you wanted to work on a project like that, I would love to be able to support you and mastermind with you and direct you to resources and all that kind of stuff. So and I would suggest something that's out of your wheelhouse. So Mark, like you were talking about, you're so good at real estate. But you were talking about writing a, I mean, it's a subject that you know about, but writing a book is definitely, not figuring out how to do a real estate deal. So, and again, I don't mean to put you on the spot. It was just an example I was thinking of, but I would love to be, like for real. I love our meetings and I get to share some knowledge and I hope that it makes an impact. And just being a member, I hope that makes it a positive impact. And I know that you're getting some silver for that. So that's really great. But I'd like to take it up a notch. I'd love to be able to help you with a project to be able to add that extra income, right? Just for investment purposes. So thoughts, questions, ideas, concerns, ahas?
I have my project.
You do already? Yeah.
I've been thinking about it for a month. I've been talking to my spiritual coach about it. She loves it. I want to do a Zoom. I'm thinking 8 to 12 weeks series titled 55 Plus Dating.
Oh.
Interesting, right?
Hot topic.
I would think, yeah. And I don't see anybody hitting that age group. I mean, they're on the dating sites, but they're not, out there talking. It's a whole different level of
Right.
communication. And I just thought it'd be fun and having different aspects of that as a topic each week. So
would you do it as a list builder to sell something later, or would you monetize that webinar?
I would use it as a way for women to have the freedom to speak, or I'm thinking I'm keeping it to women. I'm open to discussion on that though.
Sure.
I think it's more of a safety zone for them.
Yeah.
Just women, but also as a possible source for personal coaching from there. Yeah.
A funnel for coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Because you're a certified life coach, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to get on. I'd be happy to work with you. Get on my calendar. Let me know when it works for you. I have a lot of flexibility.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And there you have it, folks. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So again, if you guys have any questions, but I'd love to be able to have you have some additional monies to be able to invest that you don't have right now. And I know that all of you are investing already in, the areas that you're already investing. I'm just talking about taking your investing up a notch. So, thoughts, questions, ideas, concerns, aha? Got some
the wheel
background
spinning,
noise.
so.
I'm not sure where that is though. Somebody's got some background noise. I'm sorry, Mark, what did you say?
So I'm kind of getting the wheel spinning here, getting some ideas, but not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, again, you don't need to, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but, just think about that and think about, what it is. And here's the other thing, just have it, don't have it be something that's stressful. Just have it be something that's fun, right? It's just something like if you invested your time and the whole thing was a silly flop, but you had fun and you learned something. Vince, I think you may have some background noise. Could you mute for me? Yeah, that's it. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. So if you pick a project that you can honestly say, you know, if I spent 5 hours a week on this for the next 3 months and it was a complete disaster, but I had fun and I learned something, you'd still, you know, you'd still be okay with it. Pick something like that. It doesn't have to be all heavy and significant, right? So that'd be really good.
Any
All
idea,
right.
any ideas on how you could monetize or how to could do something with like a hobby you're already involved in? Say, here's an example I've been thinking of here. So I'm a huge nerd. I play Dungeons and Dragons all the time.
Okay. All right.
With
I've
the
heard of
game.
that. I don't know how to,
Yeah.
I've never played it, but I've heard of it.
So a lot of us played online now because of COVID. You can play through online, almost like Zoom, you know, with it. But mostly it's played in person. But there's all kinds of products affiliated with it, as far as books and figurines and dice and all kinds of things that go with it, you know. And there's big companies that do this. But I wonder how with the affiliated marketing you're talking about, you know, how do you? So you know, I'm even thinking of ideas like going out there and people do YouTube videos about the game and all these different things, and you know, how do you get something like that and kind of either make it monetize somehow or get the affiliate marketing with it? I mean, I don't know much about any of that, so yeah.
So
And pick anything, pick another hobby, whatever it is, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, golf or whatever.
So if you think about it, there's only two things that motivate people, right? The desire to move towards pleasure and the need to move away from pain. So in that particular genre, whether it's golf or Dungeons and Dragons, whatever it is, what's the pleasure that people would like to have more of? Or more importantly, what's the pain that they're suffering from that they would like to escape from? If you can figure out one or both of those things, and you might actually, you know, figure out a way to be able to, you know, say you get all this pleasure and you never have to experience that pain if you do this with me, right? And so whatever those pain points and pleasure points are, then you could design something around that, whether it's a video series, a recorded video series, whether it's if you think that, and I understand there's millions of people that play that game in the world, right? Let's say you wrote an ebook about it and you priced it at $9.95 and you had a landing page and you did some YouTube videos on it, just kind of teasing people with and if you want to learn more about that, you can get my book, click on the link below and tell them another, you know, so you do like just a 3-minute video on a strategy or an idea or something like that. Don't give them the answer. Just say, if you click on the button below, it's $9.95, and I'll give you 100 ideas like this, right? So it's the top 99 ideas that I've learned through playing Dungeons and Dragons over the last 150 years, because I'm a vampire and I've been around for a really long time, and you know, whatever. So you could do that. And as people, and if you optimize your YouTube channel, you start to get organic traffic. So you're putting the terms, the keywords that people go searching for when they're on YouTube looking for information about Dungeons and Dragons, and they start to gravitate towards your site. The other thing that you can do is Facebook ads, and you know, for a $9.95 book, if you sold, you know, if you reached a marketplace, and I don't know if you guys know anything about Facebook ads, but there's over 2.5 billion people on Facebook, and it's ridiculous how many data points they have on every single one of us. It's crazy. So if you said, I want everybody that wears that has 2 left feet, that only brushes their teeth on the first Tuesday of the month, if it's a leap year, if it's a full moon, they will find those people for you. Crazy. And then the ad only shows up for those people. And so if those are prime candidates, if you pick the parameters of the people that, you know, have these characteristics, then that ad gets in front of them. They're prime candidates. And if you spent $5 a day to get in front of 100,000 people, and 10 people bought your book, so you got $10 for the book times 10 is $100. You spent $5 to make 100. So now you pay $10 a day to reach 200,000, then 500,000, then 1 million, and that's how you scale up that number. And it really doesn't take any more effort. You're just increasing your daily budget, and it opens up the number of people that it shows the ad to. It's ridiculous how much money you can make online these days while you're sleeping. So Mark, did that help a little bit?
Yeah, I got some ideas there. Yeah. Yep.
Well, awesome. What else? Anybody else? Go ahead, Jerry.
So for my work, I mean, everything that I do is all based on tax savings and cost savings. And I was introduced to this this product line, this product that I've seen, and really just took a liking to. And I sent you the link on that. I don't know if you had a chance to take a peek at that or not.
What was the name of it?
My Notify. So
No, I didn't. I saw the email. I didn't have a chance to take a look at it yet.
So this is really diverse from any cost saving or tax saving, but it potentially is a life saving product and certainly a peace of mind type of a product. And I've almost got to, although I can, co-market it amongst some of the clients that I already serve, I almost got to figure out another avenue or another strategy for marketing that, because it is diverse from the typical cost savings things that I do.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to brainstorm with you about that and talk about it. I remember now that you had explained a little bit to me about it, but why don't you tell everybody else about it so that everybody's juices can kind of flow to
Sure.
help?
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. So this is an application. Actually, it is it's a repository of information about somebody's medical history, somebody's personal wishes in the event that they're in an accident. So a subscriber would subscribe to this program for anywhere from $19.95 to $29.95 a year. And as a subscriber, there is a sticker that goes on the back of your license, driver's license, which is sanctioned in all 50 states. Actually, the repository can be accessed across the world. There's also a sticker that would go on somebody's car and another one on a passport, maybe someplace else that you would want it to go. And should you be involved in some type of an accident, and all of a sudden, the cell phone's gone, you're incapacitated, emergency medical personnel would see this sticker on your windshield or on the driver's license and call an 800 number and immediately get access to information that you provided in this repository, but it would be all your doctor's information, all your prescriptions, all your allergies. And this service would automatically notify up to 9 people in your circle, whether it's family or friends, that so-and-so has been involved in an accident. And then they would, the people.
Oh, you're muted, Jerry. You muted yourself.
The people that were notified would at least have knowledge of, that the person is in trouble, basically. And then they could, come follow up at the doctor or the hospital, go to the ER and give the physicians or anybody else any other critical information. The person may even wanted to put in there that, in the event that I'm incapacitated, somebody needs to let my dog out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So all kinds of information can be deposited there, so people can have quick access and immediately notified of an emergency.
Wow. And do you know if they have an affiliate? You're a part of the affiliate program?
Yes, I was, and I'm not sure that I'd call it an affiliate program, because there's a select group of folks that are currently marketing this, but they do have a program that people can use as a fundraising tool.
I see.
Yeah.
So are you in a position to be able to monetize it is I guess the question.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, I'd love to be able to, again, let's set up another time to get together and
Sure.
talk through it and put some bullet steps together of, let's do this, that kind of thing. And see if we can get that tracking for you. Because I mean, besides the monetary benefit to you, I mean, think about the good that you're doing in the world by letting people know about such a service.
Yeah. And that's really what compelled me to it. It was like, why would I not want to do this? I mean, I'd almost feel guilty by not utilizing the networks and the talents that I've got to let people know about this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got some, and you are well connected. You I know you have a big network of people, and that's another huge advantage that you have in getting the word out. You could begin to do concentric circles around yourself. Who are the people, the immediate people that I could tell about this and ask them to, hey, do you know of anybody who might be interested in that, and have them tell, and then, so family, friends, business associates, and so on. I mean, that could be quite a sphere of people that just, you say, hey, if you could just give this link out to people to let them know, right? And then they go to your website, they learn more about it. There's a video there. I'm sure they've got some kind of promotional materials that you could, that they authorize you to be able to use and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Sure.
sounds like fun. Sounds like a blast.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure. Vince, I know you've had a little bit of experience with internet marketing and stuff like that, and I know you've had some challenges too. And I think that'll be valuable for all of us to kind of hear from your experience, both good and challenging. Can you share some nuggets of wisdom with us?
Yeah, sorry. First of all, I didn't know I wasn't on mute. The last time I checked, it was on mute, and then I automatically went off mute. And also, my computer just locked up, so I went on my phone.
Yep.
So yeah, internet marketing. Of course, there's good and bad about it. Because of all the 3 billion people on Facebook, 500 million of them or something like that are trying to sell you something. So you need to cut through the BS, and it takes compelling content consistently delivered over long periods of time. Some people make it really quickly. Some people it's going to take 2 years. And that's like one guy said, I made a YouTube video every day for 18 months before I got any traction at all. But now I'm doing really well. Of course, he was on there, a millionaire, saying that. So you have to be prepared to do it over and over and over again. Creating the ebook or something like that is very little to do with it, even though it seems like it's hard. It's the promotion of it.
Yep.
And yes, spending $5 a day on Facebook is a great way to do it. There's no question about it. But you really have to look at it saying, this might not work in the short term. It's just like affiliate marketing. You have to be willing to contact 100 people to get one sale. And if that doesn't work, you have to be willing to do another 100 people. And you just have to keep going. One other thing is, you sent an email that we were going to discuss something about this rotary engine. And, I just want to comment on it. So at least we discussed it. Seems like a good technology. Seems like they have got some funding. And I think it's great. And so long as they don't start challenging Ford and GM, they're going to do really well. But if they get too big, unless they license their technology or something like that, the big boys will quash it like they've been for the last 70 years. But it's really good to see that technology is improving upon existing technology that works. And I think they're starting in the right niches, going with the military and all this stuff, and doing small generators and all this kind of thing, and not challenging the Chevy 350. Don't try at all.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
for those of you that don't know what Vince is talking about, Tony had sent me an email that about a company that created a rotary engine, I guess it is, and different kind of engine. And he wasn't able to invest in it because I guess it was just in the United States, right, Vince?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to invest in it, but he wanted to offer it to us. So he asked me to send it off to Vince because he knows Vince has done a lot of investing in companies and stuff like that, and also to Howard. And so Howard wasn't able to make it today. Tony wasn't able to make it today, which was kind of surprising because like he never misses a meeting. But that's what Vince was talking about. So this technology, did a little bit of research about it. So there are so many innovations. I think that I don't think it's just because I'm more aware of it, but it just seems like there's more and more and more innovations happening that the average person can take advantage of. And that's kind of a new thing. It used to be that you had to have millions of dollars to be able to invest in companies, but there are things like crowdfunding now, where somebody that has as little as $10,000 could invest in a startup company, whereas in the past you had to be an accredited investor. You had to certify, your accountant had to certify that you have a $300,000 a year income and or $1 million net worth. And let's face it, just the average person can't qualify for that. So the average person was not able to invest in and take advantage of those new technologies like we can today. So crowdfunding is another opportunity if you've got some money to be able to do that. And when I'm not talking about crowdfunding like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, those are really just product launch websites. But the kind of crowdfunding I'm talking about is equity crowdfunding, where people are putting cash in and getting stock in, putting cash into the company and getting stock out of the company. They're not getting a product. They're not getting a new kind of e-bike or anything like that. So that's another place where we should be talking about, you know, what are we seeing on those crowdfunding sites? Because there's a bunch of them now, and they've been approved by the SEC, and it's legit. There's a way for the average person to be able to invest small amounts of money and even as much as $1,000 into that. So again, back to if you had an extra $1,000 a month to put someplace, there's just an awful lot of places that you could put that. But if you don't have that extra 1,000, yeah, you're SOL. And by the way, that stands for so out of luck, just in case some of you didn't know what that meant. Yeah. So we're at the top of the hour. Thank you for the lively discussion. Thank you for all of the ideas and your input and dialogue. I'm excited about working with each of you. And for those of you watching the recording, the invitation is open to everyone in the club to be able to reach out to me, and I'll help you jumpstart that project. And we'll have some success stories. That's what I'm really about. I really want some success stories. It's nice to come together and chat like this, but the reason for this group is so that your financial situation improves. You wouldn't even be here if you didn't already have a good financial situation. I just like to help you to be able to take it to the next level. So with that, anybody else got anything else they want to share? Ideas, thoughts, concerns, ahas, anything at all? Going once, going twice. All right. Have a great week, everybody. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.
Yeah, see ya.
Thanks. Bye.